The grade 8 this week was top 8 Easter eggs.
Right, so this was a tough one for me.
I love this one. I thought this one I had a lot of things in my head already, but I will say, once it got down to the end, there was some that I was like, oh, should I use this one, or should, it was harder to pick kind of what I want to put on the list.
I gotcha. All right, you want to start first this time?
Yeah, I can go first. So I'm going to go backwards, and I don't know if these are in order or not, but I feel like it's a pretty good order.
Okay.
So Super Mario flutes. So the Super Mario 3 flutes.
Oh, good one. I didn't even remember that one. 8. Yeah, right. So that was introduced in 3, was it?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Number 7, there is Minecraft caves in Borderlands 2.
I almost did that one.
Yeah, so...
Where you had the creepers?
Yeah. So there's the little creeper cave, and you go, and it looks like...
the diamond or whatever?
So yeah, there's a couple spots that look like the rock and stone. So you go into it, and after you break it with your melee. You don't need a pick or anything.
Right, yeah.
And then you have to do it again, and then there is a bunch of creepers in there, but there's a badass creeper in there too.
Right, I remember.
And the badass creeper gives you skins. So you can get Minecraft like heads.
Yep.
Like
that was the thing that you wanted to go in there for, was the head. Yeah,
right.
That's a good one.
Number 6, warp pipes in the original Super Mario Brothers.
That's the first one that we tied on.
For this one?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. So that was a great.
It was huge. You thought you were cool when you knew that,
right? Originally,
right? Everybody does now.
Yeah, that got to be like, are you playing with warps or without warps?
Right.
Especially when you talk about like championship play and like how fast you can go.
Right.
Those guys have.
I'm done in 8 minutes.
There's two separate versions. There's probably more than that, but there's two main versions. There's the warp pipes,
and then no warp.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think most people don't even remember warp or level 2 because of warp pipes.
Yeah, right. My 5th one, Mike Tyson Punch Out, and this was one of those things that didn't show up for a really long time. I'm talking about like within the last couple of years, somebody figured this out.
Okay.
When you are fighting Piston Honda the second time and Bald Bull the second time, you can one punch hit them and they are done.
What? I didn't even know. I don't know about that.
That's not the hint. So that's actually something people do know.
Oh, okay.
The Easter egg is this person found out that in the audience there's this bearded guy, and he does this little head duck or nod.
Okay. And
that's the moment you have to press the button. And once you press the button, it knocks him out. As long as you do it at that moment. Yeah.
So when he bobs his head, you punch.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I'm going to go back and try it now. I got it.
Yeah, me too. My number 4, and I thought this was so cool. I never did it. So there's two versions of it. So there was PlayStation, and then I believe GameCube. They also did it.
Okay.
It was Psycho Mantis reads your memory card.
Oh yes, I love that, and that's the one where you had to use a second controller to beat him. I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah, and what I loved about it was it was two things. If you were on the PlayStation, I believe he looked at any other Konami game and said, "Oh, you like to play?"
Yep, I remember
Castlevania,
that.
or whatever it was.
Yes.
And in looking up, because I never played it on the GameCube, he does it with a bunch of Nintendo games too.
Outside of Konami.
Yeah, outside of Konami.
Oh wow,
stuff,
cool.
Yeah. And then he makes you set your controller down, right?
Yep,
and then it shakes and makes it move.
Yeah, I remember that. He let you die like 3 or 4 times before he started giving you hints about reading your mind, and you're like, oh gosh. Yeah, I remember that. That's a good one.
So that was my number 4. My number 3, and I wonder if you have this one on your list or not. It's Diablo 2. The axe-wielding cows.
Yep, I did. That's my number 2.
Is it? Right on.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a great one, too, because that was lore in the first one. People thought that was a thing. They tell you got to do this, you got to go do something.
They tried forever, yes, and it never was a thing.
Right. Yep. But then the programmers were like, oh, let's make that happen. And that even makes it better, because they thought about,
Moo. I love it.
Number 2, in the top left-hand corner, I believe it is, in the mountains and Chiliad or whatever, in Grand Theft Auto 5. You can fly your helicopter out there, and at a certain time, you can watch the Thelma and Louise.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Like a car drives off the cliff?
Yes, yeah. So the cops are like, they just sit there for a little bit, and there's cops right next to them. as you get closer to them, eventually they take off and they fly off the cliff, and then the car explodes.
Did not know that.
Except, so there's a bunch of hidden stuff in that game.
Yeah,
like, there's Teen Wolf, there's Bigfoot, there's aliens, there's all kinds of like things in that. But that one was really specific and neat. What I did find is, as I looked up more about it, I found out that they don't always die. Like, I saw the car fly down. One of them died. It didn't explode. And then the other one got out and just ran. Actually, got away in one of the videos.
Screw you, though. I'm out.
Yeah. And then somebody, I watched somebody build a track for them. So they had an editor, GTA 5 editor, and they built a bridge for them to drive over.
Okay.
And they are meant to die because when they go onto the bridge, they just try to cut right instantly when they get on the bridge. They're trying to get off. There's a rail. Yeah. They just couldn't. They couldn't kill themselves. Anyway, so that was my number 2.
Okay, good one.
My number 1 is I'll be specific, but overall there was tons of them in this game. NBA Jam, Big Head.
You got one of mine too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was amazing. So there was all kinds of things you could do in NBA Jam, but Big Head or be some of the Mortal Kombat characters or other people inside of
you could be, I think, Hillary. I saw somebody being Hillary at one point. Yeah. So we had that where I used to work, and people would do that. So we were playing with the big heads at the arcade.
Yeah, there was actually one for all of them where you had to hold the controllers and a couple buttons or something, and you could play this battle tank game. Like it looked like battle tanks. It was like a 3D polygon.
Okay, yeah.
And you had to play it for a certain amount of time, and then it would turn on actually everything. So Big Head and whatever other special things.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So that's my top 8 Easter eggs.
Nice top 8. Let me go through mine here. I'm just going to go from top down. Wolfenstein, The New Order. So I don't know if you remember playing Wolfenstein.
Oh, yeah.
So they came out with Wolfenstein New Order and then Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
I never finished the first one. I own both of them, but I never finished the first one. I got stuck where all these robots were anyway, and I quit. But it's one I'll go back to for sure.
Yeah, so I beat the first one. I'm actually stuck on number 2. But there was a retro game built into number 1 and number 2. So when your character, Blazkowicz, went to sleep, you got to play the old Wolfenstein game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really cool. So you just get to see how far you could go in it. I'm sure there was achievements or something like that. You didn't get anything out of it, but it was fun.
You know who else did that? Call of Duty. One of the Call of Duty games, when you go to the I think it's one of the TVs or terminals, you can play the original Pitfall.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I like when they put those extra, hidden games in games.
Yeah.
It's really neat. In Wolfenstein 2, people loved it so much that in Wolfenstein 2, when you're at the EVAS Hammer, you can just go to the arcade game and play whenever you want to now. It's right next to the pool table. So,
that's neat.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. My number 2 was Diablo 2, the cow level, like you had mentioned. Also, Diablo 3, they upped their ante, and it's like I don't know what you call it, the unicorn pony level.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that one, too.
My number 3 was WoW. I played the crap out of World of Warcraft, so I had to do a couple from this one. There was a spot I remember hunting forever to find it. It's back when Lost was a big show.
Yeah.
It had a lot of that viral kind of stuff.
Did you find
going
the
on.
hatch?
I did. I found the hatch.
Seriously,
Yes, they had a hatch in there, and on the hatch had the numbers, the 5, 9, 16, whatever it was. And then inside a WoW, also, you could find a spot where you could play Plants vs. Zombies. They called it Peace Blooms vs. Ghouls. Literally, like, you started it, and then you actually played the game Plants vs. Zombies. So that was my number 3. Number 4 is Fallout 4, the Alien Blaster Pistol. Yeah. That thing was really fun to play with. You had to go through this little quest line to find it, and you shoot people. Which takes me to my number 5, same thing. The Alien Blaster Pistol in GTA 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was awesome.
Yes. So, because when I thought about 4, I was like, oh man, GTA 5. And then I remembered how much Tim used to keep blowing me up in the air. Then I started to hate it.
It's the most fun. So
it is.
It's also a fixing tool, right? So if your car gets put someplace, you can't get it out. That gun has helped me out so many times.
It has. It's fun to watch, just like everything that, you go to just an intersection and just start seeing how many cars you can pile up.
How many cops you can shoot in the air.
Right. Number 6 is NBA Jam, the big heads, like you had mentioned. Number 7 is Witcher 3. Do you remember where you could kill the cows and make money And then if you kill two, so the developers realized that people were just and there's one village where they had like 6 or 7 cows. You could kill them, skin them, or get their skins, and then just wait like 8 hours in the day and then do it again, and you could make unlimited money that way.
Oh, no, I didn't remember that.
So the developer said, to heck with you, so they put in what they called the Born Defense Force Initiative. Basically, a cow monster appears. If you kill too many cows, a cow monster appears and just destroys you. It's humongous, too. It's like 3 stories tall. It wrecks you. So that was a lot of fun to find that in Witcher 3. And then my number 8 is the warp zones from Super Mario.
Nice.
Yeah. So we had I think that's the most we've matched on a top 8. Yeah, 3. Yep.